Hey guys, this is Nifty Culture. We got Rob, we got Malachi, and we got John. What's going on, boys?
What's up, dude? Happy Sunday.
Yeah,
happy Sunday. I love it. I love it. And no one said anything about my awesome Ecto 1 Vive drop, bro. Check out the thing that just rolled up. How can you not get cooler than that, dude? Even the lights turn on.
So Rob, how many more pieces in this collection do you need to complete the set?
So I need the ghost trap.
The ghost trap.
That's about it. The ghost trap. That's it.
So if I want to front run you, I got to go buy all the ghost traps, and then I can sell them at a premium to you. Huh?
Dude, they've been going down, man. They first started selling at about $1,200. Then they slowly are trickling down. Now it's around $700. So once it hits around, I mean, right there, man, I'm gonna scoop one up. It's too cool.
Man,
it's too
awesome.
cool.
That's
yeah.
Awesome. Man, I wish I didn't have any time demands. I'd be all over it with you. These things are bad.
Man, I was lucky. I was actually during a T-ball game. I was watching the drop. I was going 5, 2, 2, 1, boom, and I got one.
Dude, that's awesome.
There's some tips. There's some really interesting tips and tricks you can have in the Vive app to help you get the drops. And I just learned this. I did a whole research about it. So, hey guys, we might do a stream just about that. What do you think about that, Malachi? There's some really cool tricks you can do with the Vive app to make sure you get the ultra rares and to make sure you get those. This is my first time trying those tricks and it worked.
Man, it's crazy, Rob, because normally the Vive drops are who can click the fastest or who's running the bots, or and they sell it so quick, which is pretty wild because we're gonna be talking about Aavegotchi here in a minute, and they just did a new auction mechanic where if you're first to bid, like everything drops and it's auction based. If somebody outbids you, you actually get a refund on top of your bid. So you get a little 10% bonus for putting a bid in. So it's a really cool mechanic. We can talk about it on a different time.
That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
No, cool, man. I know I was all excited about the Ghostbusters and Ecto 1, but John, you said there was a lot of questions about the Aavegotchi. So we want to roll some through that.
Yeah, so the folks that are tuning in from Aavegotchi, I dropped a couple links, and folks that watch this later on, I noticed there's a lot of people that don't understand kind of the basics of how to participate in the Dyno Swap liquidity program. And so I kind of mentioned on the stream I was going to do some real basic DeFi primers. Haven't done them yet because time commitments. So we're going to try to just real high level cover basic stuff. And so Malachi and Rob, neither of them really participate in DeFi at all. They're NFT guys. They love the art. They love the drops. But when it comes to liquidity mining, they're the perfect guys to have on stream because I'm sure they're going to.
I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, so this should go pretty well. So what I plan to do on stream today is kind of walk you guys from inception. I'm not going to show all the screens, specifically setting up a MetaMask wallet. Actually, I'll take that back. I might show that, but I'm not going to show the actually acquiring Ether or USDC or whatever token you plan on buying and providing liquidity for the fiat on-ramp portion. So, I'll just kind of walk you through start to finish here, and then we'll pull up screens and show you as we go. Mal, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that PO did create a video of how to connect and get fiat into your MetaMask. So if anyone needs to go watch that, it's on our channel.
Nice.
All right, so let's talk about real quickly high level decentralized finance, because it's a buzzword, and what does it really mean? What doesn't it mean? So really what's happening right now is, there are legacy systems in place that allow money to move from, one entity to another. And usually those are permission systems. So, if your bank wants to talk to, eBay, for example, these are, you have to provide permission. There's things going on in the background. These take a long time to set up. While you might not know it, there's a lot that goes in. You have to trust third parties to do this. And so what's happening in DeFi is they're basically building a new back end. A lot of people talk about being your own bank, which is great. Some people are going to be their own bank in the future, but there's a lot of people that aren't interested in being their own bank. So what's going to happen is you're probably going to have a mix where some people will be their own bank, and then some people will use folks like Chase, Wells Fargo. They'll continue to do what they've been doing. The difference is Chase and Wells Fargo are going to be using these new blockchains, new financial rails to move value quickly and efficiently across the world. So it's not the end of banks, but I think banking customers moving forward, there's going to be a little less a need to or have to use the big banks. So very high level, that's what DeFi is. It's basically new financial rails that are frictionless, instant, global, self-sovereign, but also the banks can still use them, and they will use them, and that's starting to happen right now. So what can you do with DeFi? All right. And how do you use it? So what you can do with DeFi is you can, if you're so inclined, you can actually become your own bank. So one of the first things, what they call a primitive, is you can lend and you can borrow. So there's lots of platforms that do this. Aave is one, Compound is one, Maker is one, although it's also part of a stable coin. So there's a couple, there's lots of platforms you can lend and borrow. And there's a couple that we're going to talk about.
I'm lending in that coin, John. I'm lending in that coin.
Yep. So I think maybe let me do a quick share of my screen here. Let's see, Mal, do I have the ability to share my screen on here? Yeah.
Yeah, you just press the same button you did last time, and then I'll pull it on screen for you.
Okay, cool. All right. So can you see it? Can you see my screen? I got just a general Google tab up. So I'm going to go to Sushi just because Sushi is a well-known app for lending and borrowing. Now they do lots of other stuff, and Uniswap's another one. But I'm going to start with Sushi because it's multi-chain right now. It's not just on Ethereum. It's on multiple chains. And I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to transition to another one. So this is Sushi. This is an interface that allows you to lend and borrow. So I apologize.
Lend and borrow what? Just different other cryptocurrency.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Sorry, it's a live stream. So here, let me go to Aave. So Aave is lending and borrowing. Let me show you this. So
it's live. You got to get it right.
Yeah, I know. Sorry,
no mistakes.
Train of thought. Sorry, train of thought. I know people crucify me for it. All right, so if you look at this tab right here, so this is Aave.com. This shows where you can deposit these assets, these various tokens that you can buy from Coinbase, or you can buy, on decentralized exchanges. You can come here and you can actually deposit these tokens. And you see here's Matic, here's DAI, here's USDC. These are all tokens that are available in the marketplace. Okay, there's wrapped Bitcoin. This is basically Bitcoin on Ethereum and other chains. I think wrapped Bitcoin extends to others right now, but don't hold me to that. And this shows when you deposit these coins, right? When you deposit this amount, actually what it will charge, or what it will give you on an APY annual basis. So if I deposit $1,000 worth of Matic, I'm just going to use dollars because we're here in the US, but whatever your particular currency is, when you deposit $1,000 worth of Matic, this will pay you 2.17% APY over the year. So if you can think about where does this yield come from? How are they able to pay you this, right? So that's always the question that I get right off the bat. How can they pay you this? And the answer is they can pay you this because somebody is borrowing it. So here's a borrowing tab. So if you want to borrow these tokens, here's what it costs you to borrow it right here. This is the APY, right? So as you can see, right, the deposit, you get paid, a percentage, and then the borrow, and there's some delta that the platform will extract, but it's very, very minimal. And this is basically set by the Aave community and free market supply and demand. Okay. So that's where this yield comes from. How do I make yield here? You can deposit it, and you can borrow it here, and it's pretty simple too. The cool thing about this particular platform, there's all sorts of inclinations and ways you can do this. But the really cool thing is, if I deposit a bunch of wrapped Bitcoin, let's say I've got, I'm an OG of Bitcoin and I've got a full Bitcoin and I deposit it, that gives me, I think, $32,000 worth of borrowing collateral. So now I can come over here and I can deposit that Bitcoin and I can make, 0.01% on my Bitcoin. And now I can borrow it, and I can borrow take out a traditional loan, and it's going to cost me 3.55% to take out a traditional loan. This is USDC. This is a stable coin. So now I can take out something like, 27,000. There's a collateral ratio. I'm not going to get in the weeds on this thing. I will later, but not right now. But you can take out a loan. And so this is the borrowing and lending side, very high level. I'll do a much better job in the future. But I wanted to show you, the yield isn't magical. It actually comes from places, right? In this case, it comes from borrowing and lending, right? So you deposit it, and somebody else takes a loan out, and you can take out a loan or whatever against your Bitcoin. You can take it DAI, wrapped ETH, USDT. And so right now it's restricted to basically cryptocurrency, digital tokens. But in the future, if you use your imagination, anything that could be digitized that has a price feed that could be kept up, you can borrow against. So it makes all sorts of non-liquid markets liquid, right? So you could potentially deposit a punk that's got a certain market value, and you can take a loan out against your punk. So and what does that do? Why would you do that? A lot of people are like, why would I do that? Okay, it allows you to lever up your assets. This happens all the time in traditional finance, where people own real estate and it's basically dead money, but they want to use that money for something. So what do? They take a loan against the real estate out, and they use that loan to invest in their next venture. So you guys can think it becomes it's all about capital efficiency. You don't want dead money. You want to use your money. All right, so that's Aave. So that's the first.
And that's the way, John, that you can avoid paying taxes on it too. Exactly. You don't have to sell it for capital gains.
This is not financial advice.
Yes, that's right. So the running joke is like the wealthy people, they don't ever pay taxes because they don't sell, right? So they hold the asset, and then they borrow against it. So the next project they want to invest in, they borrow against, and they invest in with borrowed funds. So they never lose exposure to their base asset, the original assets. Okay, so that's lending and borrowing. So next is the Decentralized Exchange. So I'm going back to Sushi Swap. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so here's where we talk about decentralizing exchanges. So you have Coinbase, which is a centralized exchange. And by the way, we still need these things. We still need centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Gemini, because they act as fiat on-ramps. And Malachi talked about what the video that PO put up. And a fiat on-ramp, what it does is it connects to your legacy institutional bank, and it allows, you have the reason you need them is, at least in the US, is because you need a banking license. So Coinbase has those in, I think, the majority of the states, if not all of them now. And so you can connect your bank to Coinbase, and they KYC you, meaning you put your information in, they know who you are, so you're not doing illicit things, or they can track what you're doing so the government can tax you. So you connect your bank to Coinbase.
Yeah, KYC means know your customer, and it's one of the big pieces. It's actually, a lot of people think that cryptocurrency is nefarious and you can do all these secret things, when in fact it's actually incredibly transparent, and especially around know your customer, it's important. And that's also why Nifty Gateway recently enforced know your customer for selling your NFTs on Nifty Gateway.
Yeah. So any of these centralized entities that have a business license or a banking license, there's going to be government regulations that they're required to adhere to. And so that's where KYC is going to come in. And so right now, there is not a great way to get your fiat value, your legacy, traditional finance value into DeFi. You're going to have to go through fiat gateways. So unless you want to pay big primers and other things, but right now the easiest, least friction is through fiat on-ramp. So that's what Coinbase is good for. Gemini, Binance, others. That's what they do. But once you're on, you don't necessarily need to trade assets on their platforms anymore. If you don't want well, I shouldn't say this. If you want to trade without the third-party risk of a Coinbase getting hacked, this is why they say not your keys, not your crypto. You can actually move into the decentralized world, and this is where things like Metamask become useful. Okay, so this is a standard exchange. So right now, for example, and I'll go through a couple other ones before we start talking about Dyno Swap and Aavegotchi. I had to kind of get over the basics so people can understand what's going on here. But you can pick your asset. So I think I'm just going to use my MetaMask. I hope I'm not doxing myself. Please don't send me all sorts of weird tokens here. Let me pull this up.
We're not that big yet. I don't think you have to worry.
Okay, good. What's going on here?
Not gonna
So
make
Malachi,
it.
I can't wait till the Bitcoin Angels right here.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I mean, both of them are going to look really good. I can't wait
I think
for
the
a
bull's
black
going to be too
dove right
big.
here.
Yes, but the bull's going to be too big, I think.
Let me reload this.
I might have to scoot my desk back.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I hope it's ready next week.
That's awesome.
I told the gallery to make sure that they tag TJ and tag us on it as they're framing it.
All right, guys.
That would be really cool.
Y'all talk, just give me a second. If y'all have any questions on the sushi, here we go. For whatever reason, it was giving me.
No, it makes more sense now. You already got hacked, John. Someone already got you.
Somebody already got me. All right, so this is one of my accounts, and so let me enter the app here. So for whatever reason, it was kind of bogging down on me. But here's MetaMask, and so the cool thing about MetaMask. Why is this now? It's not popping. There you go. The cool thing about MetaMask is it basically single sign-on to basically Web3. So any website that has the ability or is running on the blockchain, Ethereum in this case, I can access with a single click, and it knows it's my account without me having to set anything up. So here I'm on the sushi site here, and if I want to do a swap between Ethereum, it automatically populates the value of ETH in my wallet, and I can pick tokens to trade against. Okay. So, in this case, I'm just going to say Curve because I like Curve, and just for the sake of demonstration, you can see it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. So I'm just going to trade, 0.1 ETH.
6 ETH. Let's do 6 ETH.
No. I don't want to do that. Actually, let me do this. Let's do it cheap.
Max, John, max.
Nobody's going to know I'm cheating here. Okay.
Let's press that max button.
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's trade some of this Titan token. Just assume it's ETH. I know now I'm doxing myself. Everybody knows I was involved in this. So I'm going to trade this, and I'm going to pick a token to trade to. Let's get some WETH. Okay, and now I'm going to swap it. Yeah, this is wrapped ETH. Thanks, Malachi. So I'm going to swap. Show you guys how simple this is to do. All right, I'm going to confirm the swap here. So y'all can see.
And what does Sushi get out of this?
Right.
Was that so
Sushi
0.32%?
Yeah, so I'm not
part of that.
Each platform has a different metric. I think Sushi, it's like I think of the trade. Don't hold me to that. You have to go look. The gas price to execute the trade. In this case, I'm just gonna do this, and I'll go over this in more detail on Ethereum, but I just want to show you guys how the swap actually occurs. Okay. So Sushi would take a small portion of the trade, but really the majority of the money, who's making the most of the money is called the liquidity provider. So they're taking the lion's share. And liquidity provision is what we're going to talk about next. And it's really the focus of the video because a lot of people are going to say, well, how do I take, how do I do liquidity on Quick Swap, and that way I can get my Dyno tokens. So I'm kind of going through the basics of just using a DEX here, and then we'll switch you over and go to the next spot. So now you can see it happen. So now I switched all those Titan tokens for WETH, and now that's going to show up in my wallet here. I'm going to be able to show you guys that I have some WETH that I didn't have before. Just have to scroll down and find it. It's right there. So this is the WETH that's now in my wallet, non-custodial, self-sovereign. I did that all myself, decentralized. Nobody helped me, right? It was just quick swap. Okay, so now let's go a little bit further. So now you guys are introduced to Sushi. I'm going to take you over to Quick Swap because this is the platform that is going to be used for Aavegotchi and Dino Swap. Okay, so let's do that. So this is another decentralized exchange. This one's on the Polygon side chain, which is a side chain for Ethereum. It's EVM compatible. So if you're a developer on Ethereum, it's easy to port projects over to Polygon. And there's bridges that exist where you can move tokens from Ethereum to Polygon, simply. All right. So here's Here's another decentralized. You can notice they all basically look the same. It's basically you have a site box where you can click the token that you want to change for the token that you want to change it to. Okay, and up here on the chart, it shows me how much Matic I have. So let's do this right here. So let's go actually really quickly. Let's go to Aavegotchi. Let's go to the project. You can see what we're doing. So Aavegotchi is a project actually going to have one of the core devs come on, and he's going to walk through a bunch of questions, technical questions, roadmap of where it's going. So here's all the various options that you can choose on the loading page. And what Aavegotchi is, real high level, it's just a play on Tamagotchi, and it's an intersection of DeFi and NFTs, where you can create these little guys that live in the metaverse online, and you can play games with them. Okay, so you can buy these guys, and so, but that's another video. Let's just focus on what people in the Discord and project want to know about, and that's how do I get my Dyno tokens? All right, so let's open up one more tab here. Sorry guys, lots of tabs, I know. All right, this is Dyno Swap. This is a cross-chain.
This seems complex, by the way.
It is, and that's why we're going to walk it through as you guys ask questions. We're going to get to it, but I got to cover the basics, and then we can kind of run through how to do it. So this is Dyno Swap. This is the cross-chain liquidity aggregator, and so right now I think it's starting on Polygon, but it's plans to go to multiple chains. And let's just dissect the page so you guys understand what's happening here. Okay, so these are various pools where people can put their liquidity tokens and earn additional yield. Okay, so let's go back. So let's go all the way back to QuipSwap here and say, okay, what we talked about when you're changing through on here, when you're using this exchange, what you're actually doing is you're moving through a liquidity pool, and the pools are right here. All right, so let me give it a second to load up. Actually, let's do this. This is an easier way to see them. So these are different pools of tokens. So this pool right here is ETH USDC. So what this means is if you're a liquidity provider in this pool, you're putting ETH, an equal value of ETH and USDC in the pool, okay? And so as traders come through and use the front end platform that I did on SushiSwap, as they change from ETH to USDC, you're providing both sides. You're providing the depth for the trade. So somebody can come in and want to go from ETH to USDC. So they put their value of ETH in. They're going to get USDC out. And when they do that, you're taking the other side of that trade, okay? And you're getting paid to do it, okay? So if you want to be a liquidity provider and make this APY, so you can see right here, if you're a liquidity provider, you're giving ETH and USDC, you're earning 20% APY annually, okay? To be the liquidity provider. The people that are trading through, now this is both rewards and fee APY, and I'll talk about that, but if you're a liquidity provider here, you are basically saying, I am going to hold this balance of ETH and USDC, and as ETH moves up or USDC, its movement relative to USDC, I'm willing to, live with that because this is going to pay me 20% APY to do that. So here's another one. So here's Matic and Quick. Here's another two tokens. You can be a liquidity provider for Matic and Quick, and you will get paid 70% APY to do that, right? So this is, where does the yield come from? Again, the yield comes from people actually trading through and also rewards. So here's the fee APY. So these are people trading through, and there's also this plus for rewards. Okay, so let's talk about those two really briefly here. So this is what people pay when they move through the pool. Okay, so all the aggregate people trading in and out of the pool, you're getting a percentage of that. Now there's also what's called additional yield, the rewards here. And what this is in the form of quick swap tokens. So what a lot of these projects do to get people to be liquidity providers, because the more liquidity providers you have, the more volume you have on your platform, the more money the platform makes. So what they do is they actually give you governance tokens, right? So the the Quick Swap platform is giving out quick tokens, right? So that's where additional yield comes from. So you can see right here, I'm actually a liquidity provider in the State Ghost USDC, or in the Ghost USDC pool. So I'm giving Ghost and USDC, which are just 2 tokens, all right? And I'm earning, this is what I'm earning. In the fees, it's $627 is what the pool is earning. And so I get a piece of that based on how much of the pool that I own or how much liquidity I'm providing. So are you guys with me so far? Do you guys have any questions on liquidity provision? Let me show you really quick before I open it up to questions. Let me go to CoinGecko real quick and just show you what the Quick Swap token is trading for. So here's Quick. So you guys can see it right now. Each Quick Swap token trades for $277. Okay, it's got a market cap of 44 million, a fully diluted value of 279 million. But you can see that there's value to the token. And why is there value for the platform token? And a lot of people talk about platform tokens. They don't understand why there's value. And the idea is that, like, for example, Sushi. Let's go to Sushi because it's the same thing as Quick. It's a DEX. But it's kind of further along in the progress. Sushi token trades for $7. It's got a market cap of 1.4 billion. And the reason it does is because it gets a fee. The platform takes a fee. So Sushi holders are getting paid as people trade through. So there's value there. Sushi is a governance token that determines what the platform does moving forward, what the development is, how much the platform extracts. The Sushi holders will vote on how much the platform extracts to make the change. So Quick Swap, it doesn't have, or at least I don't think it does, it doesn't have a fee extraction mechanism yet for the platform for the token holders, but it could. So it's a governance token. It's like, I would say it's equivalent to like Apple shareholders. When you buy Apple right now, you're buying for the growth. It doesn't entitle you to any sort of profits, right? But the idea is the long-term roadmap is one day Apple shareholders, it'll become as it'll plateau out, and then it'll start to pay a dividend, and the Apple shareholders will vote, on that mechanism whenever it comes one day, or at least they'll vote in the management that will vote for how much to pay out as a dividend. So this is the same principle. These governance tokens control the ability to vote that in. Whether or not they do it yet, that's up to them. Right now, most projects won't because they're still in early stages. Okay. So sorry, that's a little bit of a sidetrack, but I do want to go back to the pool here. Let's go back to the rewards mechanism and make sure you guys don't have any questions, because as new people, it's overwhelming. It's a lot of information. So right now you have the Quick Swap rewards. So they're giving you quick tokens which have a value and incentivizes you to become a participant in the platform, right? This is what DeFi is all about and what NFT is all about. It's called their engagement mechanisms. They bring you in. Now I have a stake in the platform and I want it to grow. I want it to succeed. I join the Discord and I do what I can to participate, make it grow. So you're getting a reward there. And then you're also getting, like I said, the fee mechanic. So for every single token you can trade on the platform, there is a liquidity pool, right? So everything, there's 9 pages here of tokens you can trade between. So, wrap BTC to ETH to USDT, and so on and so forth. You guys with me on how these DEXs work so far?
Yes.
Any questions, Mally?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and probably not for this one, but there's also some risk involved, right?
We can go over that a large time, but I want to get to the Quick Swap and Dyno Swap before people get overwhelmed. So anything specific on questions about what you're seeing on this page? It's important to understand what you're seeing on the page and how to understand what the yield is that you're actually getting when you.
I just can't believe so many people are swapping all these crazy tokens.
Oh, dude, it's like
they have
to have liquidity providers. I'm like, who's swapping a dino for a frog through a grass all the time?
That is exactly.
I want to be a grass dog turtle provider, please. Liquidity provider.
All right. So Rob, so part of the thing that people don't understand is there's more to crypto than Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are a lot of projects right now that I mentioned. Let's just talk about DeFi for a second, high level. You have a centralized exchange. You're looking at it. That's one token. Then you have the lend and borrow platform I showed you, Aave. That's another token. you have options, derivatives, and then there are multiple incarnations, and all of a sudden you have hundreds of thousands of tokens, all different. These aren't just, they're not trying to be mechanisms for exchanging value. They're actually building projects. That's why it's called decentralized finance. And the great thing about it is they're all building on top of each other at record, just net breaking speeds. You can imagine. I've been watching this involve. I used to be able to, by spending 3 to 4 hours a day, follow most of the project. Impossible. Now you have literally hundreds of projects launching that are all testing, traditional finance back-end infrastructure is being replicated, and they're all testing it right now, and different incarnations of it. Things you couldn't do in traditional finance, you could now do in decentralized finance, because how all these things build on one another. You can take out loans that repay themselves. And I'm not going to get into those mechanics, but the mechanics make sense. And a lot of people see the APYs and they think, oh, this is a scam, this is BS, because they don't understand where the APY is coming from and how these things work. So, a whole other video for another time. But yeah, so you need all these different liquidity providers. If you went to a centralized exchange, you have all these tokens. You basically have these market makers that are taking the risk on. Their very advanced, sophisticated investors. And in this case, they've come up with a way where you can passively trade openly, self-sovereign, with no third-party risk, or at least no third-party risk. There is some smart contract risk, of course, but it's pretty amazing stuff. Okay, so so this is how to be a liquidity provider, and I'm going to manage my position just so you guys can see what that looks like.
Max, John, Max.
If it'll let me. It's been a little screwy right now. So I can deposit more if I'd like to. I can deposit more into here. I don't have the tokens to do that, but let's actually go through the exercise so you guys can see it. Let me think about this. Let's actually do the one where people need to do it for the project. So let's talk about the project again really quickly, because I'm about to showcase how do you actually deposit into QuickSwap, into the pool that you need to do it. So let's talk about what you need. All right, so let's talk about the pages that we need. So for the people tuning in from Aavegotchi, okay, these are the different ways you earn friends tokens, okay? And so friends, Mal, Rob, what they do is they allow you to participate in auctions. It's basically like its own little mechanism, currency, if you will, for when they drop a new Aavegotchi, you can buy them with friends. When you participate in the bazaar, you can buy them with friends. On the mechanism I've talked about earlier with the bidding, where if you got outbid, you get paid back. Well, let's go. So it's a little different, but sorry. Okay, live stream here. So let's talk about the various pools here. So staking, you can earn friends per day here by staking these various things. And here you can see there's a Ghost, Quick, LP. So what does that mean? That means that the liquidity pair, Ghost and Quick, these two tokens here, will earn you, if you stake them here, you'll earn friends, and this is the friends amount that you earn per day. In my case, this is what's available. And here's another one. Here's another liquidity pair: Ghost USDC liquidity pair. So if you're in the Ghost USDC pair and you stake your LP, in other words, if you put your LP token in here, you start earning friends. Okay. And here is the one for the Dyno Swap. So everybody watching, Ghost ETH LP pair. So what is that? So you come here and you go to the pools, and you need to add liquidity on QuickSwap. So you add liquidity. So we're going to go Ghost. Let's find Ghost. There's the Ghost token. Okay. And then let's find WETH. All right. Right up here. Okay. So here's what it's saying. I need to add these two things to get the liquidity token that I need to stake right here. So the first step is to go to QuickSwap. Yes. So I'm going to put Ghost.
Why? Like, that's the thing.
Okay. Whoa. All right. So why would you do it? Okay. The reason,
so you can earn friends, bro.
That's right, to earn friends. So the first step is, if you do this, Mal, you're going to be getting paid. Anytime somebody transacts through Ghost and ETH, whenever they make the swap between Ghost and ETH, you're going to get paid as a liquidity provider. So the first reason you would do it is you want to make money on your Ghost and ETH, right? Instead of just letting it sit idle, you can make money on your Ghost and ETH. So I'm going to go ahead and supply these, okay? So I'm going to confirm my supply. So it's going to pull up my MetaMask right here. It's going to pull it up and say, okay, it's going to cost you some money to do that. So I'm going to do that. So that's going to take a few seconds to go through. And once it does, I'm going to have a Ghost ETH. I'm going to have a position in the Ghost ETH pool, which I'll showcase here.
And that's in your MetaMask. It's called Ghost ETH token.
It's going to be an LP token, and it doesn't pop up naturally. It doesn't pop up naturally. You'd have to find it. Okay. So let's wait till this is done. And it looks like it's done. So let's go back and check it out. Let's go back to the pool. Now let's check out the pools. Hopefully this, now you can see under the pools tab, I'm in the Ghost ETH pool, okay? So now anybody trading between these two assets, I'm going to get paid on, okay? So I can manage my position. This is how much I have pooled. I have this much Ghost and this much ETH pooled, all right? You with me, Mal? Right now, anytime somebody trades to this Ghost ETH pair, if I go back to the swap, and I look to swap Ghost, I look to swap.
Is it two-way? Like, so ETH to Ghost and Ghost to ETH?
Yes, yes. Anytime people swap too, so you can switch them. I'm the liquidity, along with lots of other people. The pool's really deep on this pair. All right. So you can swap through. All right.
Makes sense. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So that's where we're at. So now you have a pool. So that's step one. So now in my wallet, I have this pair. Now you can't see it because I don't have the token listed. I'd have to go to MetaMask here and find it. Let's see if we can see this latest transaction here. So here's you can see it on the blockchain. So you put these two things, and I got this many tokens right here, right? And this is the representation of it. So this is a little janky, and I apologize. It's not easy to see it, but I think you can just add it. This is on sidechain. Let me see. Let me add.
It's a lot of altcoins.
Yeah, there's a lot of altcoins. Let's see if you can see it. I've already done it. So this one right here is the token. This is my LP token right here. I know it's a little confusing, but that's the process of how to add it if you want to. But this is the representation, the LP token, okay? So now you have this pool. Let's go to the next stage. Malachi, that LP is sitting in your wallet. All right, that's great, but what if I want to do something with that LP token? So let's go over here, and now that I have it, I have the option to stake, so I can earn some friends. So in addition to making fees as people transact through Ghost ETH, I can actually stake it. So let me stake it. All right. Let's see. Oh, this value might be too small. Well, that's whack. Let me do this. Oh, crap.
So how big should the value be so that you can stake it?
I told him to do max.
Well, normally, let me see something really quick. Oh, you know what? I need to do, I missed a step. Sorry, guys. There's a reason I can't do it. Okay. So now that we're in the Ghost ETH, we actually have to stake it in the quick swap and start getting yield. So as I mentioned, the very first step is you're getting paid for people to transact through, okay? But QuickSwap right now is running a program where they will actually pay you with their own governance token. Right now, I'm not earning that. So if I want to earn that, I've got to go to the rewards tab. Okay? Got to go to the rewards tab. If it'll go there. Come on. Okay. Let's find the Ghost Weth pool. I think. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. I might be live stream messing up here. Hold on.
Yeah, this seems like a lot of steps.
I know. I mean, there is a few steps to it. So hold on.
But I mean, I guess like the first time you're using MetaMask, it can be overwhelming until you get comfortable with it. Are you going to have to go back and start over? You're going to have to do max, like Rob said?
No. Hold on a second. Max. There shouldn't be a minimum. There's not a minimum that I'm aware of, but hold on a second. If there is, that'd be strange. Let's see. Okay, so no. Okay, so it's not that. So let's figure out what it is.
You should write a blog post about this with the step-by-step process after this.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so sorry, it was so small it showed up as 0 before, but it wasn't actually 0. Stake. Okay, so this is the value of what I'm staking. I forgot. It jives with this. Sorry, guys. A little bit of mishap there. Wish I could edit that out, but I can't because it's live. So if you go down here, like, see how it's 0.000004 because the value is so small. I was just doing it for video purposes, so you can see that it's 4.2 to the -9. All right, so now I can click stake. Okay, so it's got the value pulled up, and you click stake. Okay, so now it's going to ask me to stake it. All right, I set my gas amount there, and now that should go through. Okay, so now I'm about to be staked, and I'm about to be earning friends per day. All right, so now I'm earning fees as people trade through the pool, and I'm earning friends per day. Okay, so now we're good. We're all good. You can see the transaction went through. I'll show you on the right here. It went through right there. You can see it. So you can see I just staked my ghost. Okay, so I just staked my liquidity in there. All right, so now we're here. Okay, so now we have what is called stake ghost ETH. All right, so we got something back from the platform. Okay, so now let's go to Dyno Swap. Now, Dyno Swap is this new, like I said, aggregator of liquidity for multiple chains. And so now what they're saying here is if you go to the fossil farms here, you can take your staked tokens, right? So we now have staked ghost ETH. Yeah. And you can now stake them here, okay? And this is the APY it's paying. So now we're making fees as people switch through the pool. You're now making friends, which you can use to buy items and participate in auctions in, I'm sorry, not buy items, but participate in auctions in Aavegotchi. And you can get yield on top of that, okay? So if I want to do that, so right now you can see I've already have staked in this pool from a previous staking, and I've earned $5.88 here, right? 2.8 of the Dyno tokens. So let's go to the Dyno tokens. Let's see what they're worth on the free market. Okay.
I feel like the kid who runs these websites can just turn it off at any time. This dinosaur and this Aavegotchi one with these 8-bit graphics. Some kid's just going to turn off their laptop and your money's gone. Ghost.
No. Okay. So I'll talk about that really high level. Okay. So here's Dyno. It's got a market value of $2, right? So people are getting them and they're selling them, and they have different mechanics, and there's going to be a floor that it finds. But basically, here is what they're incentivizing you with. You put your tokens in. You put your stake ghost ETH in here. The stake ghost WETH LP, and you're earning these Dyno tokens. Okay. So if you look at this, you get to earn these Dyno tokens. Now I can. Let me actually deposit some more because I now have more deposit. So let me hit the deposit. I'm going to max. Yes, max. So I'm going to have be earning more Dyno tokens now. All right.
Good. So I needed some Dyno tokens.
Yeah, it's like if this is too complicated, why would people how long did it take you to earn that $5?
So it has to do with the amount. I'm not doing
2.3 million years of digging fossils.
No. Here's the APY. It has to do with how much you stake, right? I didn't put very much in. It was very, very little amount of stake ghost WETH. So the amount that I'm making, but I am making 413% APY on the amount that I put in. So regardless of what you put in, if you put in $100,000 theoretically, if this value doesn't change, it will. It goes down over time because more liquidity comes in, and as more people come in, that number goes down. But let's just say it was static, just for the sake of talking. If I put $100,000 in at 413% APR, I would expect to basically double my money in about 80 days or so. Okay.
If Ghost and ETH didn't go to zero.
If Ghost and ETH, well, actually,
there's a lot of volatility to like.
Actually, what this is right here, Mal, this 413% is specifically to the Dyno tokens. So as long as Dyno tokens don't go to zero, that's when it would double. Okay. So if you put $100,000 of stake Ghost ETH, okay, you are making, in terms of Dyno tokens, this thing is paying you out. This APY is 100% contingent on Dyno token price and how many you're getting. So that's why I say the market value is important, right? So right now you see it's going down. So if you would have come here yesterday, this APY was 2,000%. So as Dyno token goes down, the APY goes down because it's being paid in Dyno tokens, right? So however much value you put in stake Ghost with, say it's $100,000, you're getting paid in Dyno tokens to match that at a rate of 413% APR. You follow?
Yeah. I think my son can get you some Dyno tokens.
Dude. Okay, Rob. All right. Okay. All right. So here we go. So in terms of the mechanics, are you guys follow what we do?
No, I got it. No, I got it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mally, any questions on the mechanics on how to do that? So now for the folks watching, I am actually earning. This was zeroed out because my balance, I just increased the amount. And so if I go to my wallet, I'm going to have some Dyno tokens that I can sell. And I think I have there. So now the Dyno tokens are in my wallet. So just for the folks watching, you have two choices from here. You can go to an Extinction Pool. Okay. And what Extinction Pool does is you can earn.
But there's more. Like it's stacks on stacks on stacks.
Yes, you could. Well, at this point, the yield, that's where the yield caps, and then you have some options of where you think you can put the yield to make the most. Right. So if I want to put those Dyno tokens in here, I can make more Ghost tokens, or I can make more SOX pool. But when you put the Dyno tokens in here, they disappear. They burn them. It's a burn mechanic. So you lose that value. So if I put my $5 worth of Dyno tokens in here, it's gone forever. But I start earning at a rate of 383% APY Ghost tokens for those $5. Okay. And then you can also do tar pits where you can stake the Dyno tokens. You can lock them up for a period of time, and then you'll earn more Dyno tokens. So, and these, what you're seeing here, these are all clever mechanics to increase liquidity and to control token emission. They don't want the Dyno token going to zero, so they create mechanisms to lock the token up and incentivize people to hold and participate in the community. But that's the full run of how you do this.
I appreciate you walking through it, but for my small brain, I'm going to continue flipping zoo animals.
So I would say that, this is a great mechanism for folks that are active and involved in the tokens that are listed on the Dyno platform. If you are, let's go to their liquidity provider pools. If you're a liquidity provider for one of these pools on QuickSwap, QuickSwap is the exchange that all the LP tokens are using here. If you're a liquidity provider for these pools, this is just extra yield for you. You're just going to get extra Dyno tokens. Whether or not the Dyno platform is successful, I think it will be. I think it's got legs. But if you want the conservative approach, you can literally just farm the Dyno tokens and then go sell them. So right now I can go over to swap this, and you saw I got some Dyno tokens. You guys saw that. It's running a little slow, and I think that's mostly my internet connection, but let's look at Dyno.
See you, Rob.
Cool, bro.
Rob had to go.
Rob had to jet. Okay, no worries. No worries. So Mally, any other questions on the mechanics while I go through this thing? I'm trying to pull up these Dyno tokens here. Do this.
I'm muted. Yeah, I mean it's interesting, right? It's when you think about utility and some of those.
Oh, it's on sushi. That's why.
I just don't know why. Like it seems incredibly complex. Like I get why. Like I understand the pairings and I understand those benefits, but for me, it's one of those things. I think you have to be very comfortable in the crypto and the altcoin space to be doing this. And so it's probably one of those things. Like once you have enough and you want to let the money work for itself, it makes more sense as passive type income. I don't know what, this is like wizard type stuff compared to like even setting up your someone who's having trouble setting up their MetaMask for the first time likely isn't going to make this entire jump.
Yeah, like I said, I plan on doing this to go one by one, but for the folks that were in the Discord watching and they're asking questions what to do, I wanted them to see the full process of exchanging. So
yeah, it's interesting that you can have that many layers, right? Like you compare it, and then you can start doing all these other things on top of it, which is it's exciting to think of. How people are thinking about this. It's just once again for me, it's a little complex right now.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So if I go to my activity, you can see where I just swapped those dinos.
Maybe complex is the wrong word. It's tedious. Right. And I get like if I'm moving a lot, it's probably worth it. But the amount of effort to put in a very small amount probably doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all about the, you look at the APY, the long-term yield. Really, what people should use. Let me go back to the stream here. Am I back on? How do I stop sharing my screen here for a second? All right. So, really the thought is if you have idle assets like Ethereum and they're just sitting there and they're moving around, there's a lot of these contracts that are in use that have been in use for over a year. They're safe. They've been audited multiple times. A lot of these projects are just reusing smart contracts that have already been audited multiple times and secure billions of dollars. So the risk is actually pretty low on this stuff, at least some of it. And so some more, like Quick Swap or Sushi Swap, being a liquidity provider there, you're depending on the pair, there's something called impermanent loss, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But it's an easy way to turn an idle asset into a productive asset where you're making money. So instead of just sitting on your ETH, why don't you pair it against USDC? If you think long term, a year from now, ETH is probably going to be at the same spot in terms of USDC value, but it's going to swing all the way around. Why would you not participate and get all those fees as people trade through? The market's always reset. They never go straight up. They move all the way around. So make some money there. Be a liquidity provider. If you can just use Aave, for example, and deposit your ETH and make a percentage increase, make 2-3% or whatever the value is, why would you not do that? It's literally just free. I wouldn't say free, but you're providing a service. But it's a very low risk yield, right? It's like putting your money in a bank account, except you don't have the third party risk of a bank. So, there's a few steps that I went through there. It was a lot. I hope some people got some value out of there. Hopefully you were able to follow it, Mal. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I think it's not complex was the wrong word. It is tedious. And it's one of those things, like I said, like the very first time I set up my MetaMask, it's intimidating. And I was like, oh no, what's this? I'm turning fiat, transferring it out of, the bigger, platforms like Coinbase, like that, it is intimidating. And then like once you get comfortable with it, like you're flipping nonstop. And so I guess like once people are comfortable and they believe in ETH, for instance, and they plan on holding it, why wouldn't you do some of this? And when you do think about, just like you would have a balanced traditional stock portfolio, some of it would be more risky. Some of it's going to be less risky. If you're comfortable with that, I could see people trying out a percentage of their portfolio or crypto assets, starting to stake and those types of things as well. So personally, like, I'm just not there yet, but I could see a lot of people, and it's not because I wouldn't want to, it's just because I'm not at that level of maturity yet, but it's something I'll keep an eye on. I know you've been, you're kind of way ahead of the curve in a lot of these ideas. I'm glad that you came on and shared some of this, because there are probably a lot of viewers that maybe not live today that are interested in this, and this is a good primer for them to at least know it's there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I apologize. It was a bit of a knee-jerk, quick shot video, because right now the Dyno Swap is just heating up, and the longer you wait to get in, typically the APYs go down because more and more people get in, and then they start selling the token, and the token's what's giving it the APY. So, the market has to reach a point where people think the Dyno token itself, the platform itself, has value, or is, at that price has value. And so that could be at, $1, could be at 50 cents, could be at 20 cents, it could be at $10, could be at $20. I don't know what that value is going to be. But when the market settles, then the APY will start to settle. And then you'll see people, depending on if it's good APY, you'll see more liquidity flow in. And so it'll drive the APY down. So it's this thing, like, a lot of these projects are whoever can dive in fastest. If the contract has been audited, it's been safe, if they're reusing something that has been used in the past, then you want to be first, because that's when you get the most of the governance token they're yielding to the platform. So I want to get this up because I think this thing launched yesterday, 24 hours ago. And so there's a lot of people asking, well, how do I get this? And so walking through it, but there's a lot of topics to cover to get to understand how to do it. And I'm going to do some real basic, like, here's a 15-minute video on just being an LP and what it is and what the risk is, and then 15-minute video on lending and borrowing, and 15-minute video on combining the two ideas, and then we'll go in to look at some other more advanced platforms where you can get yield. So this is just a quick one for folks that had questions and wanted to see somebody go step by step, and it wasn't smooth. I made some mistakes on there, which are good, because I'm sure they'll run into the same mistakes.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I'm just, you're part of this whole thing because of this mindset, and so I appreciate you walking us all through it. Your final comments actually made me a little bit more excited. Where it is, if you're going to put a little bit of money into it and be early, I think that could have been described earlier, that as these mature, right, it's the risk reward mechanism, right? The rewards go to the early speculators, and it sounds like this is one of those. But once again, not financial advice. All of this could go to zero, but so could Ethereum. So who knows?
Yeah, it could easily go to zero.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, Mally, well, thanks for hopping on. And
Happy Sunday. All right, everyone, take care.